everyone, today we're going to be working on the bike, well the project bike, as I say in the previous video. This is my dad's bike. We're basically doing a ton of upgrades onto it. In the last episode, put on these grips and the shifter and connected all the cables. Today we're going to be doing all that, but on this side. Here are the tools that you need. We have a socket wrench with our 10 and 9 millimeter and an adjustable wrench. You need nose pliers for the cables and to cut it. You can use a wire cutter and anything like that. We have our Allen wrenches. We have our crimps, the actual grip, and then we have the shifter and brake. Probably better if we actually disengage this stuff first. Find out where the wire goes. Okay, so it goes down there. So that means we're going to take this, take our 9 mil, and we want to loosen it up. Okay, now we have that off. I'm going to take the cable, remove it from where it came from. Off. Now we got to take off this cable too because they already comes with the cable. So now we got to take this off. We want to use our Allen key, get underneath it, and start unscrewing it. Okay, actually, before we take off this, we're going to want to take off the grip. And if you cannot take off the grip, normally you want to use like air compressor, but we don't have that right now. So we're going to grab this. Okay, now we have this. We're going to want to cut it because we're also not going to be using these grips anymore. Be careful not to cut yourself. I know it's a big duh, but still. And boom. We have the grips off. We're going to set it aside over here. Now that we have this off, we're going to take off the bar end. Now this, we're going to put over here again. Now we have a bare bar. No grip. We were going to put on grips like this. So we're going to have to take this off, like I said earlier. After some unforeseen events, we now have a broken needle nose plier. So after that, we are now going to put on the Shimano shifter. You may always want to make sure you orient it correctly. Just slide on. Allen key for it. And now we just have to tighten it to our desired amount. That should be good. Now we have this. Obviously we have no brake. Now we're going to get the housing for it. Orient it correctly, like always. Okay, now after we fit it through, we want to bring it over through where we want to bring it around. Make sure it doesn't get tangled in anything. And then put our housing in. Want to make sure that we still have our range of motion. So now that we have this, we want to feed it through this bottom piece right here. Want to feed it through, make sure it locks onto this. Also, it helps to not disengage your back brakes when you're working with your front brakes. Now we want to grab our 9 millimeter wrench and we want to tighten it. So now that we have that tightened, obviously we have this big old piece of slack. 3/4 finger length, and then give it a cut. After you have cut it, you will be left with this long piece. Right now we're just going to put it in our discard pile with everything else that we have. And now we can throw a neat little crimp on it. As always, we're going to choose a green crimp. Slide it onto the cable. Squeeze it. Don't want to squeeze it too hard so that it snaps off, but you don't squeeze it too loose where the crimp just falls off. Crimps are useful so it doesn't make the ends of the cable frayed. Or spiky. Now we are going to put on the brake cable. So we have this. This is our brake cable obviously. I want to make sure it's on. Since of these types of brakes, it requires a different type of thing, so we've just put it like that. We want to put it in the proper direction. Now I still want to keep the front brake loose. Equip it. Now after that, boom, we have it in. We now have very loose brakes. So now we want to take our brake, we want to run it in through its housing correctly. Now we have that on, we can hook up our brakes. We have the first one. bolt, we want to take our 10 mil, and we're going to want to take our needle nose pliers, put on the brake. There we go. Now that we have them successfully on, we're going to be putting on the grips. So we're going to want to slide these on. So now that we have these on, we're going to tighten the bolts to make sure that they're all good. We're going to tighten the bolts to make sure that they're all good. So now that we have the grips on, we gotta make sure that it is all fine and dandy. That was episode 2 of working on the project bike. Hope you enjoyed and have a good day.